Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 7 of The Wheel of Time. Das de Mer, I think that's how you pronounce it. This is going to be full of spoilers, probably some book spoilers too, whatever I can think of from the book that's relevant to the stuff I want to talk about in this discussion episode. I will probably talk about it, so that'll be your spoiler warning. So with that being said, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and let's begin. All right, so this episode was a little bit of a calmer one because it was kind of the calm before the storm. This is our penultimate episode, and of course, again, we go through our different plot lines. So first off, I want to talk about Matt's storyline. So I kind of like what's going on here. It's all over the place in terms of book stuff. None of this is ringing any book bells for me, but I'm kind of liking. I just really continue to like the actor because he's really personifying Matt for me in a lot of ways, like very much like the guy we had in the first season. I'm sorry, I continue to be terrible with names, but I think he somehow fits a little better. I don't know, but like he's kind of given off a lot of the impression of him that I had when I was reading it or listening to it. But I really, really enjoy it. So this stuff that we got going on with it, Ishmael, who like there's a whole situation between them. They both like just giving off. Well, Matt kind of gives off. I don't know, but there's just like a lot of weird bi energy happening. I thought it was kind of hilarious. Matt's talking about like is this a sex thing or a murder thing? Either way, like let's get it going kind of thing. And, like that's kind of hilariously Matt, like his kind of humor and stuff. And the Shemael kind of like considers it for a second, like which is like a little bit of a play. In my head, I'm kind of now. I think it was kind of like this in the books too. I had this impression, but I think it's really settling more now. Like, Ishmael is very much kind of the Joker to Luz Theron's Batman, and like in a lot of iterations, like the hate dynamic with Batman and Joker is almost whatever. So like it's kind of a little bit of that. So like it played really funny for me. But this whole kind of Vision Quest thing that's going on, I'm completely confused by it, but it was a lot of fun the way they did it. The effect on his hands and stuff I thought was really cool, and the complete total freak out, the trip out of him turning into his mom and then seeing the Shemael as him, like just that freak out. That was really well done. I thought that was cool. I thought we would see like more of like his past lives thing, but I guess no. That can't happen yet until he goes through the stuff that happens in the threefold land. So all those, all the information that gets stuffed in his head. That's what I was thinking about. But of course, we can't do that part yet. So, but in the mirrors, when he started to see all these visions and stuff, I don't think any of the other visions were anything in particular, but we did see him hanging. So that's clearly a reference to what's to come ahead for him. So I thought that was really nice. That reminded me a lot of that plot line. And now I'm wondering. So the in the books when Matt gets his luck ability, it's described as the devil's own luck or like the dark one's own luck. And I wonder if they're going to change it in the show to actually have it be like a result of like Ishmael's like, whatever, like his dalliances or whatever he's trying to do. So I wonder if it'll be like not just from the elfin ilfin things or whatever. If my memory's not all jacked up, if it's not just like from them or whatever, the multiverse situation or whatever, and it's like an actual result of like interference from the Dark One, I think that would be cool because it kind of locks it all back in, kind of like what they're doing with the dagger because the whole dagger situation was like a completely separate type of evil from the Dark One, and they kind of seem to be kind of mushing, to make it a little more consistent, a little more easier to digest for a TV audience. So I think if they do that, that'd be really cool. And I just really like to see what's going on with Matt and stuff and see how he's getting folded back in. He's kind of getting folded back in nicely. It's taken like an entire season for them to fold it back in, but it's happening. I've seen an image that looks like Matt running at the head of an army of ghosts. So maybe we'll get that next episode, or maybe that's like concept art that got put out for the horn stuff. I don't know, but I hope it happens. Because I don't know, maybe next week will just be a huge episode or something. I don't know. But let's talk about Rand and Moraine, that whole situation, which is mostly the bulk of this episode. Actually, no. Let's talk about some of the smaller arcs before we talk about that one. So Perrin and Avienda, we got them again, and I love that Hopper is just hanging out. So Hopper is going to be his companion. I love it. It's going to be like it was in the books. Like, oh God, I just thought about what. I just thought about what happens in the book. It's going to be just like, but that's going. Either way, I'm going to enjoy it while we got it. So like that's really cool, and I think it's hilarious. Like every couple seconds, Perrin is basically getting hit on. Like Avienda basically makes mention about his wedding ring again, saying like you're owned by a wetlander woman or whatever, and she like the one girl won't care, but the other one will be kind of mad. Like I'm like, so he's just basically getting hit on like every couple of minutes and stuff. Like that's fun, and I really like the way they showed the different expressions of Jito. Like that's really cool. It's not just like a life debt type situation or something like that, or like that same kind of thing. It's really like any sort of like level of obligation. There's a lot of nuances to it, and I really like that we're getting that like kind of visually and not just being told. So that's really cool. I like that, and it's kind of interesting because I don't recall Perrin going to the Threefold Land. I don't remember that. So I'm Perrin's entire arc right now. I'm confused. It's like I don't. Are we getting Elias back? It doesn't seem like. Maybe he's going to disappear like he does in the books, and then maybe come back later. But like we didn't get the axe conversation where he hasn't. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's in Perrin's arc at this point in the books that we just haven't done yet, and I hope we do kind of either get to it or do an explicit like version of it and not just kind of ignore it. Maybe they just put it off for a while. I don't know. But there's not a whole lot going on with them. They're just kind of walking, and it reminded me a little bit of Dune also. But let's talk about. I guess the rest of it is kind of all related. Well, let's talk about the Egwene Soldam Damani situation, that whole situation, before we talk about the Moraine Rand stuff. All right, so we get a continuation of Egwene's imprisonment, her enslavement, and we kind of get this show off day, this kind of thing where like all the Suldam show off their Damani, and this is just a cool little example showing us Egwene's power. So they all go out and they make this explosion of air, and it kind of shows the scale of your power. It basically shows how powerful the Damani is, the channeler. It shows how strong the channeler is, and they're like way far back, and like so they're down there, and then the one couple goes basically, and they're like, "Oh, good job! You know that blast of wind almost hit us. Like that was like really cool." And then like Egwene goes and do it, and of course she doesn't have control. Rana has control with the Iodom, and she like makes her do the thing and stuff. And of course, Egwene being as powerful as she is, she basically sets off like a insane blast, like a bomb, and blast all the other people back and stuff like that. Which I kind of wish they would have showed the aftermath of. They kind of just show her reaction to it and stuff. But the way we end this interaction between them, they get back and she's like sponging her down and stuff, and she's really proud of her. She really likes her because Egwene, for all intents and purposes, is very valuable. So she's like being nice to her and stuff, and Egwene's just sitting there with this just kind of calm face and stuff. Like she was braiding her hair before she came in, and that braid is strength. So like it's really cool because I like the fact that at the end of the last episode when she heard the Blue Aja sister basically say you lasted longer than I did, that clearly rebuilt her back up. Like she was broken, but she's clearly not anymore. So she just kind of looks at her and like with these just sweet eyes and was like, Rana, I am so going to kill you. And she's just like almost completely pouting, like throws the sponge back in and just like leaves. She's going to stop being nice to her probably at this point. And we also get Elaine and Nynaeve trying to work out some stuff to like try to get in there and get her out and stuff. They met up with Loyal, so they talked to him, so they kind of got an idea of what's going on. So that's really nice. And the just the dynamic between those two is a lot better this episode. I really like that. I like the fact that Nynaeve is listening. She's, they're basically compromising. It's the way, at least the lines that Elaine had, the way she was talking, it makes it sound like they tried some stuff that was Nynaeve's idea, and now it's like, now let's try some Elaine's ideas. Like, so not like they're like actually working together. So I really like that stuff that's happening. That's really cool. So let's talk about the Moraine and stuff, all of it. So I really like that we're kind of fixing this arc. It's kind of getting annoying as hell, like so Moraine stuff, and it kind of makes sense. I kind of don't like that she doesn't like. Okay, so it is confirmed that she was not stilled; she was shielded, and at first I thought that was a possibility. She'd be shielded by a male's weave, so she wouldn't know it, and so she would think it's shielded kind of thing, and she also wasn't lying in previous episodes and stuff. I assumed it was probably a habitual thing, but she actually still can't lie because she's bound by the three oaths. So that was another clue. So we kind of find out that she is because Logain has seen it, and then Rand basically brute force breaks it, and she has her ability to channel again. So that kind of fixes everything essentially. Like she stops being mean to Lan and stuff, and I guess she unmasked the bond and stuff, and it seems like all is forgiven, even with that weird dynamic. Even though I guess it's just it's the excuse of the being stilled and stuff. But the most interesting part of that arc, well, kind of, is that I did not see this coming. I saw a lot of people talking about this on like Dusty Will and like other sources and everything. They were saying they were speculating if Moraine's sister or if her son is a dark friend or if they both are. I can't remember if that's a book thing. If like there's mention in the prequel of one of them having been a dark friend or something. I don't remember anything about that. So that completely went over my head. I didn't see that coming at all. And then like when Leandrin showed up, I'm like, oh crap, they're dark friends, aren't they? Like I was just like, dang, like it's really clear right there. And then she like sends the mom off. I'm like, oh, so the mom's not. And like the son is, and like so that makes their entire dynamic interesting. But I guess he was just a dark friend in order effort to get more power, so it's probably the reason why he's going to be king and stuff. So like it was all that, and then the trick that the mom pulls and imprisons him. I thought that was really well done. It shows her, above all else, she's probably mad at her sister and stuff, and like she wants power and she wants the Demandred name to be well recognized and stuff. But above all of that, she is still a servant of the light. So she's like, I'm not just gonna let this go. So even if it's her son, so I just really like that dynamic. It shows the strength of that character. I thought that was really really cool, and the whole Rand thing, like I like this way they kind of looped it back around because in the books, even if Swan and Moraine had a romantic relationship, it wasn't explicit, and if they did, then it ended at some point in the past because neither one of them during the events of the main series show any kind of romantic affection to each other. So there's a point where they basically have a schism and they, come in conflict with each other and basically kind of split off in a way. They kind of go their separate ways and doing their different stuff until Swan is deposed, basically. So I really like the fact that we're kind of working our way back around to that, even with this different dynamic that we have. And with this new dynamic that we have, it makes it more tragic because it comes off as like kind of a betrayal and it's like a breakup and stuff. So it just has so many more layers of emotions tied to it. And I thought that was just really well done. And Rand asking Lanfear for help while, also getting help like from Moraine and stuff, not obviously not knowing that they had a plan going on. So he went and asked Lanfear, and Lanfear, we get Lanfear in white. We get a book accurate Lanfear in white. I mean, in my head, I was picturing like a blinding, very, bleach white kind of thing. But I really liked the outfit. She had the evil shoulder pads going on and stuff. That was a lot of fun. And she's just walking, just casting, like, it's insane. Oh, and something else that happened a while ago, like episode 5. Did she technically conjure with the one power? I don't think you can with the one power, so that's interesting. I wonder if they're going to do that. Because I assume Lanfear's resurrection was like a true power thing, and because it was all black, which is the color of the corruption of the Dark One and stuff. So I assume that was like the Dark One's true power or whatever she was using. So I wonder if that's a thing. And I like the fact that like a lot of nuanced stuff I've forgotten. So like the idea of tying off weaves, I I don't remember in the books that they didn't know that because they rediscover so much stuff about channeling over the course of the series that I forget which things were rediscovered and stuff. So that's why I was leaning on the side of she's definitely stilled, or Moraine was anyway. So we kind of get this thing where Rand is basically shielded, and like Swan wants to use the White Tower rules, the stuff they said you're supposed to do if you're ever, if the dragon is reborn in your generation or whatever, while you're Armerlin, you're supposed to do this. So like she's trying to do that, and then that's the thing that causes the schism. So that entire dynamic I thought was a lot of fun. The show continues to be really good. This episode was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. It was a mixture of just stuff that's completely unfamiliar from the books, but some stuff that was very familiar from the books, and a lot of dynamics that are familiar from the books, even though the events were not the same from the books. So I really like that we're kind of, it feels like, I mean, I don't know, I want to be optimistic that the show will continue to get better in terms of adaptation and just quality in general. But I think the show is really kind of getting to that point where it's going to hit its stride. And I think ultimately it's going to be a well, appreciated adaptation later on. Hopefully. I'm going to be optimistic. So, yeah. All right. With that being said, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you like about this episode? How do you feel about the adaptation with the changes and like everything that's going on right now? Do you agree with me that it's kind of starting to hit its stride a little bit? Let me know about that in the comments down below. And I will talk to y'all next time. Peace.